Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I got Bob Miles with me here today. CreepShow, the girl that's actually insane. I think we've all established this by now. There is more updates for yous. And you know me with updates, I give them to you. Emily Artful recently uploaded a video a couple of days ago that I haven't seen until now. I'm currently going through a rough time myself, so it's a bit late, my apologies. The video is titled CreepShow Art Did Not Work Alone. I'm intrigued already. So Emily Artful starts off by showing proof of these burner account messages she received and shown us in her last video, CreepShow Art has always been this way. Yeah, you can tell me that twice. Basically just confirming that they were real. Obviously I won't repeat myself too much because I did cover this, but Emily received some vile messages from these sock accounts, literally just slating her for no reason. It's quite baffling really. Just to refresh our memories here a little bit, because it has been a while, to be honest. It has been a long time. She was getting DMs from burner accounts, sock accounts, whatever you want to call them. Obviously a lot of sus that they were actually Shannon, aka CreepShow, and her fella, Anthony, aka Emily's ex. God, this story just... I think this situation, guys, really shows how nutty people can be now. Emily then moved on to this screenshot by Anthony, which he low-key exposed himself for being a muppet. I'm not joking. He insinuates he did actually participate in making the burner accounts because he was curious to see what Emily was actually up to. Psychopath. Think Anthony needs to chill out. I'm not angry, I was just curious. I figured maybe if I get more ridiculous, I'd get a response. I wanted to see where your stuff went, which is why I was bummed that you blocked me. Interesting that, Anthony, you absolute fanny. I don't understand how that would matter to him anyways, because they're not even together, but what the fuck? Not angry, yet you're tag teaming? Alright.
What I find super suspicious now that I look back at it, I didn't mention anything about sock accounts in this conversation. So I don't know why he felt the need to clarify that he only uses accounts with his face on them when I didn't say a word about sock accounts until after he messaged this. Now, I had previously mentioned to him in passing that I was receiving a lot of hate on my social media, but that would have been years before this conversation took place. And since it was just in passing, I didn't go into detail about what kind of accounts were harassing me. And because I didn't go into detail about who was sending me hate, for all he knew, it could have been someone I knew in real life. So why put that detail in when he had very little knowledge of the people sending me hate? And again, when I had mentioned this to him, it would have been years prior to this conversation. This is why I believe that it might have been Shannon responding to me.
I do understand here where Emily is coming from, but it is one of them. Because Shannon and Anthony are together, they surely would both be aware of what is going on. Their relationship is clearly based on bitching and slagging other people off to make themselves feel better. They are perfect for each other. Why not throw the sausage in there? So if Shannon did send that message, Anthony definitely knew about it. They are both at fault, which we'll get to my fucking conclusion later on in the video. I don't understand how you don't come to the point where you're like, hang on a minute, I'm being a dickhead. I better sort this out. Clearly these people never had that realisation, and therefore I feel very sorry for them. Do you know what I mean? Because it must be hard living like that.
This response, I give Anthony an, at the time, recent example of some suspicious behavior coming from his personal accounts. I say, on Instagram, there was a post from someone talking about how angry I look in all my photos, which you then went on to say the same thing the same day, as well as like all their comments. Then I receive a message on Twitter from someone saying I buy my subscribers, which you claimed in the same day as well. Both these accounts were freshly made / very clearly fake accounts with 1 or 0 followers. I know it may seem hard to believe, but I really don't receive much hate from the people who view my videos.
She also mentioned, remember, it wasn't just the same day the sock account messaged me, literally minutes after I blocked Anthony. Hang on though, what? Why is it so hard for a man to leave one alone? This is embarrassing from adults, you know. 30 years old and you're acting like you've just turned 13. What a waste of human life, it's such a shame. She does then go on to explain that the art community on YouTube obviously does get hate from time to time. But the messages that obviously she was receiving from these accounts do go beyond that. Now, I just want to make this clear for a minute. It's hard to tie these DMs to Shannon and Anthony because they are sock accounts. You can be anyone you want to be online. And in this case, it's terrible because you can't hold anyone accountable. I think that's the thing that kind of eats us alive here, because realistically, like, It's kind of hard to get justice in these sorts of situations.
I shared this screenshot on Twitter, but I will share it here. This is, again, from my Twitter data. Because Shannon deleted her Twitter account, I cannot see her initial message. This was obviously after I had confronted Shannon about potentially stalking me, because this is in March of 2019 that she sent me this message that you obviously can't see. So unfortunately, you're just going to have to take my word for it. But when I confronted Shannon, she eventually blamed our mutual friend, Brandon. She randomly messaged me in March to let me know that, quote unquote, Brandon had tried to hack into her commission email and that I should be aware of that. I don't know if that means that she was planning to try to hack into my email or do something to try to get to one of my other accounts. I don't know why she sent me that message. She may have just sent me that message to just throw me off the trail.
Yeah, for sure. I'm with Emily on this. I do think it's them. There has been far too many strange things leaving their mouths. You remember this video from CreepShow Art?
So before I get started, I do have a confession to make. I am essentially Neve from Catfish with how fucking good I am at online stalking. Like, I'm amazing at it, guys. You have no idea. Honestly, a lot of people have tried to make me feel bad about how good I am at it, and I don't fucking care at this point. Like,
pretty wild that one, innit, Shannon? Chitting with the door open you are for free. Moving swiftly on though to Shannon. Emily confirms the DMs she's shown in her original video, the conversations they both had on Instagram.
And none of them, like, I'm stopping here just so I'll scroll up and stop so you know these aren't just a bunch of random conversations her and I had.
But I'm not gonna lie, this bit here, this bit here really rocked me. Emily's Facebook message receipts. I just want to include this because this really shows a lot of perspective of what Emily was going through. A little reminder for us all.
Oops, let me bring this down. This match right here, I will include the screenshot somewhere over here. Here's the message I sent to Anthony's step-grandmother in November of 2017. This was right after my first son was born. So yes, they were harassing me the entire duration of my pregnancy. And if you guys remember, I really, really struggled with antenatal depression when I was pregnant with my first son. And this certainly didn't help. This is why I personally believe that they were trying to get me to kill myself. They knew how fragile I was at certain points in my life. And I feel like that is when they struck the hardest.
Oh, it makes you fucking pissed off, don't it? Making a pregnant woman go through all of this? Why? Because they're sick in the head, mate. So pointless and unnecessary. But yet, it double ticks the boxes though. Because these two nutters need to be sectioned, in my opinion. Let's have a read though. We love reading up in here. Hi. I don't know if you will remember me, but I dated Anthony about 6 years ago. Since the termination of our relationship, I have reason to believe Anthony has been stalking, harassing me using fake online accounts. Up until recently, I had no idea who was releasing my personal information online, harassing my employers and threatening to ruin my life / relationship / career. He recently decided to go after me using one of his personal accounts, which I believe he did by mistake. I'm looking to file a restraining order against him now that I have evidence that suggests it has been Anthony harassing me all these years. I'd like to do everything within my power to protect my family and myself. I recently gave birth to my first son and I'm afraid he will come after his personal information as well. I know this may seem random and confusing, but I haven't found any other way to protect myself. So this is why I'm messaging you. She then goes on to say, after reading this in the video, that because they're not friends on Facebook, she most likely never received this message, which is so heartbreaking. The fact that she was out here messaging his step-grandma because it got this bad fills me with fucking anger. Hence why I love making updates on this situation. They clearly find it so hard to treat people with respect. It's a fucking disease for them. In the next message, she shows she was telling a mutual friend of hers and Anthony's everything she was going through at the time, bringing up again and reminding us everything that sort of happened between the two, that he was using inappropriate photos of her when she was just 15 against her, and the fact that he was physically abusive towards her. Absolutely shocking. Disgusting. Even though, like, we've had this all before from the first video that she did, it still hits the same. She does get emotional in this segment of the video, and honestly, it is heartbreaking. I will link this full video down below. If you have time, feel free to check it out. Definitely gives more perspective. Her closing thoughts on this video are very interesting.
I always thought it was really weird that he was never 100% clear about his relationship with Shannon, because he had one or maybe two other girlfriends after we had dated, and he was perfectly comfortable telling me those girls were his girlfriends. And I'm not bringing this up to be bitchy. I'm bringing this up because I truly believe that Anthony hid a lot from Shannon. Even though the things that Shannon did to me were unconscionable and cruel, I believe that she was also a victim here. I believe that Anthony played on her hatred for me, as well as her emotional dependence on him. For God's sake, she dropped everything to go live out of her car, an experience she herself called absolutely miserable, just to be with him. I will never forgive or forget what Shannon did to me, and her being a victim doesn't excuse her horrible behavior, but I do think it's important we acknowledge that. My goal here is not to destroy Shannon or hurt Shannon. I want people to believe me. This was many years of my life, and because I didn't want to rock the boat, I didn't want to upset them, I hid and I kept quiet, and I only mentioned having a stalker here and there because I was afraid of them. They got me fired from a job that was the only thing that came in between me using and me being sober, that allowed me to afford a room. They made it seem like they were in my town taking pictures. They made me feel unsafe in my own home, and I expressed that to them, and I asked them to stop, to leave me alone, and they refused. This has completely changed the way I live my life. Anytime I load my kids into the car, I examine every single car that drives by on our street. I try to hurry up and load them when there are no cars on the street at all.
I agree, but it's defo one of them. Shannon may have started out as the victim, but she complied, participated for over a decade. So it may have started with Anthony, but she is definitely as much to blame as him. Let's not even forget the behaviour. She has demonstrated this behaviour on her own accord too, when she got caught slagging off her own friends on lolcow. But to conclude, 1000% my arsehole, CreepShow wasn't alone on this situation, of course. You know Shannon and Anthony were planning these attacks behind the scenes. Do I think they will ever change? No. It's too late for changing when you've been on this shit for so many years. And again, I wish Emily nothing but the best. She seems absolutely lovely. She did the right thing, speaking up and clarifying some things from her first video. Hopefully she can move on and live her life the way she wants to, without being in constant fear. Yeah, honestly, sucks to suck, don't it? I really hope that karma will slap these two straight in the fucking face. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed this video, please take care. I'll see you in the next one. In a bit.